it's been a few days since I've done one of these story times. This is a story going back to primary school when our school and a few others in our regional town sent a group of students, including myself, to Broken Bay, north of Sydney. We caught 2 trains to Sydney and then a 3rd train up to Broken Bay. It was a day and a night and a morning afterwards. The teachers we had, first of all, seemed to have a liking for discipline. They were positioning students to take their position in the aisle for up to 80 miles for seemingly any minor infraction. One of the things I remember is that one boy had a camera that cost $1, which even in 1969 would have bought a very, very cheap, rubbishy sort of basic camera. And I kept very quiet about the fact that my camera cost 50 cents. Judging by the rubbishing that this other boy, I would call Ron, was getting for his $1 camera. So we changed trains at around about night time to catch a night train into Sydney through the mountains. And we had 9 students to each compartment, which was designed to hold 8 people. So one person had to sleep on the floor, the others of us slept in our seats, sitting up. So the organisers of this national fitness camp had skimmed and saved. The next morning at Sydney Central Station, we were instructed by the teachers not to spend more than 40 cents for breakfast, which we paid for ourselves. But the instructions were no more than 40 cents. So I went through the cafeteria, took a few things on offer, put them on my tray, came to 76 cents, which I sort of kept very quiet about, and I spoke to some of the others, and most of the others had spent more than 40 cents. This is $1969, and today you wouldn't get anything for 40 cents or even 76 cents, let alone a whole breakfast. After breakfast at Central Station, we caught a train up to Hawkesbury River, where we then got onto a boat that would take us to the Broken Bay National Fitness Camp. And there, at the National Fitness Camp, we were split into different lodges. These lodges were like portable buildings that were then popular for use in schools. And we had a regimen of chores to do to keep the lodge clean, specific way to fold the sheets, specific place to put the suitcases, and yada, 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 with each hut being awarded points for tidiness each day. Each lodge also had a room where one of the teachers was sleeping. And some of us chanced an opportunity to look into this room where our teacher was sleeping. And what an unholy mess. And yet they were giving us points for how tidy we were keeping the lodge, keeping our sleeping quarters tidy. Another event I remember was showering, and one of the boys just casually urinating in the shower, which I thought was just gross. I thought, what? Who does that? I mean, was this kid not brought up properly? That was a turn off. The rest of the camp was the rest of the time in the camp is doing team building exercises and ropes and going for bushwalks and learning to do a bit of this and that. The first night in the camp, at the first meal time in the camp, in the mess hall, really sort of sounded like the train when all the chairs were being moved, and after being on 3 trains over 2 days, I had train motion awareness in me. And one of these strangers, guys, I'm from another town, I met there was somebody who did recreational pickpocketing. And you'd be walking along and you'd say, "Oh, is this yours?" It'd be a wallet or it'd be something that was on your person a few seconds before, and you'd say yes. And I got rather sick of this guy. I became rather short at him. And that was the course of the National Fitness Camp. Oh, yes, in those days we didn't have trolley cases. We lifted our cases by hand, and especially the Hawkesbury River Station, it meant going up one high set of stairs and then down another high set of stairs to catch the boat. There was a sort of girl going to my school who I had a bit of a crush on. I was sort of watching her at this National Fitness Camp and sitting next to her at every opportunity, except that she seemed to prefer to sit with someone else, another guy. That's the way these things go. The journey home was a bit unusual in that on the way home there had been massive floods in western New South Wales. So we had to go a couple of 100 miles out of our way to bypass this area of flooding between Condobolin and Roto, going right down to the Riverina region and then going up to the Western Line again. So, because I got into the night train in Sydney and I was expecting to emerge at Parkes, but that didn't happen. I didn't recognise the station the next morning where we were going to be changing from this train onto another train. The other train had been diverted in order to meet this train. And it turned out to be at the town of Cootamundra. So, that was a bit of an unusual trip home, taking a bit of a detour home down south west from Sydney into the Riverina and then back up to the Western Line. So that was the story of my time when I went to the Broken Bay National Fitness Camp.